So the Thabo Mbeki African School of Public and International Affairs at Unisa, in partnership with the Miriam Makeba Foundation, will host the second annual Miriam Makeba Memorial Lecture tomorrow afternoon. That will be at the Unisa Main Campus in Tshwane. Dr. Yvonne Chaka Chaka, Abigail Kubeka, Mama Mariam Louw, and Dr. Gcina Mhlophe are among some of the speakers who will share the stage to honor and share fond memories of the late Mama Mariam Makeba. Advocate Sipho, Mantula, researcher at the Thabo Mbeki African School of Public and International Affairs, joins us for more on this. Advocate Mantula, a good morning to you. Talk to us about just why it was so important to make sure that there is a Miriam Makeba Memorial Lecture.
Refreshing morning, my sister and Jumbo Africa sister and lady, to your viewers. Very important moment that this is the second annual memorial lecture looking back at the life and the legacy of Dr. Zenzile Miriam Makeba. I think you will recall, Naledi, that Dr. Miriam Makeba appeared before the United Nations twice, in 1963 as well as in 1964. So this year marks almost 60 years of the speech that she made before the United Nations, appealing against the global leaders to end the apartheid tragedy that we were going through. And secondly, you can say that it is for us to honor her as a true liberator, as a musical icon, a cultural diplomat of note. And thirdly, one looks at this 30 years mantra that we are in, the 30 years of our freedom, democracy. But let's look back that she came back in 1990 in the country through a 6-day visa from that she was using a French passport, and she was pushed by the then President Nelson Mandela to come back home. And you look at that period of 1990 to 1992, the role that she has played, also a very critical role. She was also part of Sarafina, a movie documenting the 1976 plight. She was also part of the 1991 welcome back home of Miriam Makeba. So you'll understand that that is a history that before we go to 1994, the 1990 period of her coming back, it is important to always look back at that. And again, the other important aspect, it is that commemorating Miriam, it is also important to look at the intellectual property rights of Miriam Makeba, because most of our artists, they have their catalog outside this country. Most of their musical rights are owned by foreign record companies. And we are not doing enough to recognize Miriam. If you can look back at that, she was the first and the last cultural ambassador in this country during the time of the then President Thabo Mbeki. From there, we don't have any cultural ambassador of her stature or who can represent the views that she was holding. Hence, our theme this year is to celebrate her legacy, the life of a cultural ambassador, the life of a peacemaker. Mama Africa, even going to the context of the word Mama Africa, talks about where Africa is today with the conflicts that Africa is facing. Then we need this goodwill ambassador of peace that was Miriam Makeba.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned her appearing before the United Nations during the apartheid era, and I thought it would be interesting just to share a quote for our viewers of what it was that she said at the United Nations, and I want to read this out. She said, "Would you not resist if you were allowed no rights in your own country because the color of your skin is different to that of the rulers, and if you were punished for even asking for equality? I appeal to you, to all the countries of the world, to do everything you can to stop the coming tragedy." So powerful. And it speaks to me as well about the role of artists and not just delivering entertainment and music and that heritage to us as well, but using their voice so powerfully. Talk to me about the speakers, why you chose these particular ladies.
You know, when you look at any memorial lecture, you always have to go back to her contemporaries. What we did last year, the first lecture was given by the current minister in the presidency, Mayor Dlamini Zuma. And what followed there was the contemporaries like Sipho, Hostix Wahamabuze, Mayor Abigail Kubeka, to share the memories beyond the text and beyond the academic lens, to say those who lived with her, to share with the young generation, to share with the present generation about her views, about her struggles that she went through. So this year, as you know, that we have opted to look at Yvonne Chaka Chaka, who also was part of the welcoming of Miriam Makeba. she has also shared many memories, coming from Mama Africa to Princess of Africa. The second person that you look, Marah Louw, she was with Miriam for many years as well when Miriam came back. She was very close to Miriam Makeba. She has many memories that she'll be sharing tomorrow. Abigail Kubeka coming back again. And we thought of also bringing the industry, Leslie Sidibe from Kapaso, to look at the plight of the artist. Like you are saying, it's beyond entertainment, but edutainment. What then is the role of our artists post-1990 in dealing with the socio-economic challenges that we are facing? So you can look that it is not just an academic lecture, but it is also a musical knowledge sharing. It is also going into diplomacy of Miriam Makeba, using politics, using art, as well as to highlight the plight of the African continent. Because the conflict that we see in the DRC, to the viewers, they will recall in 1999, she was given an honor to be an ambassador on food security in 1999. And you'll recall in 2004, 20 years ago, there was a documentary that was looking at the lives of the artists who played their role in the liberation of this country.
Yes.
So it is important always to have memory lane of the life and times of Miriam Makeba through those who lived with, and the family also. It is important also to make mention of the family, the grandson, Lumumba, Zenzi, the grandson, Lindelani, who are currently pursuing the Center for Girls of Miriam Makeba, because one of the aspects, Naledi, is that she was very passionate about the young girl child, and also the young boy child. So it is important for us to look at her humanitarian role that she was playing in the continent, as well as when she came back home in 1990.
Yeah, well, we hope that it is a rich lecture and a wonderful exchange tomorrow. Of course, the Miriam Makeba Foundation, along with the Unisa Thabo Mbeki African School of Public and International Affairs, hosting the second annual Miriam Makeba Memorial Lecture. It's taking place tomorrow at the Unisa Main Campus in Tshwane, and it is kicking off at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon. So perhaps something very interesting to do on a Sunday afternoon. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Advocate Sipho Mantula, researcher with the Thabo Mbeki School of African Public and International Affairs.